Hello, happy Thursday. Joy here. Really excited that you have joined me. We are going to be making a white bean toast today, which is a vegetarian dish. It's very budget friendly. A lot of the stuff you're probably going to have in your kitchen, in your pantry, in your fridge already. It's really kind of a quick recipe that you can throw together, and you can even prep it ahead of time. And we're going to talk as we go through these recipe steps about some things that you can substitute, you can tweak. If one particular ingredient isn't sort of your thing, that you can kind of swap some things out. And so let's get into it, all right? So if you're going to cook along with me, you're going to need some butter. So 2 tablespoons of butter. You want to put that in your skillet here. And we're going to melt that down, and while that's melting, we're going to get some shallots chopped up. There we go. And you want to put that on about a medium heat. We want the butter to go ahead and get all melty. We're going to add some shallots, garlic in there, our aromatics, as they say, and get those going. So I have here what's called a banana shallot. They are generally larger. Normal shallots are about half this size, but instead of using 2 shallots, I just got 1 big one because I like the onion flavor. It's a really mild onion, and it has a little bit of sweetness to it as well. So you really can't overdo this one, I think. But if you have trouble finding a shallot, a sweet Vidalia, about half of it will do. Just chop it up really nice and fine. So I've got it chopped in half here, well, sliced in half, so it doesn't roll around my board, because I don't need that kind of drama in my life, and I want to keep all my fingers, especially since I'm on camera. All right, so we're going to slice this up and just do a rough dice, just keeping in mind that this is going to go on top of toast. Hi, Mom. So this is going to go on top of toast. And here we go. So just a real quick dice here. We're going to saute this guy so it's not, again, it's a real mild onion. So it doesn't need a ton in there. There we go. So what are you guys cooking up in your kitchens today? Let me know down in the comments what you're making for dinner. My kids are probably going to eat the leftover spaghetti from last night. I don't imagine white bean toast is their thing, but that's okay. I'm not mad at it. All right, I've got my shallots in. There we go. And we're going to add in 3 cloves of garlic. Okay, we're going to add these in 1, 2, okay, I might go with 4 because these are kind of tiny. Yeah, that one's kind of tiny. So we'll add a little extra garlic. It'll be fine. There we go. Garlic is one of those things you can't really overdo too much. Not too much. All right. So I've got my individual cloves here, and they still have the skin on, and that is why I love my Pampered Chef garlic press, because I don't have to take the skin off, and it pops the garlic right through the skin. It comes with this little cleaning tool. Sort of looks like a Barbie hairbrush, and that cleans everything out. And see, the little skin, garlic skin, is right there. So it popped right on out. Like the perfect garlic. So we'll get 3 of them. Well, 4, so we have a little one. Now we do have another garlic tool, which is really cool. And I'll show that to you in a second. But with that one, you do have to peel the garlic to use it. So I'll be honest, usually when I am just gonna do just a few cloves, I don't bother with it. But there are some recipes, and when I'm cooking for a big crowd or something like that, and I have to process a lot of garlic, I definitely pull that bad boy out and use that. Alrighty. So, and I do have a video on my page with this, showing you all the different things that this guy can do. So I will link that somewhere. But it's a little compact, all-in-one garlic tool. Up here, it has a place for you to do diced garlic. Down here, sliced garlic. And as you're dicing and slicing, it all kind of hangs out in here. This is a garlic peeler. So you put your garlic clove in there and roll it on the countertop, and it takes the skin off. And then you have this little cleaning brush. It's like they thought of everything. And even if you wanted to make like garlic paste, you could do that on this. It has a nice rough surface there. It's kind of hard to see. A rough surface there that you can grate garlic on there. So it is a very handy tool. Again, though, personally, unless I'm like cooking a lot of garlic, I usually just use my garlic press for 1 or 2 cloves. It works just as easy. All right. This is starting to smell fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So while our onions, we're going to let them cook down for just a little bit, and we're going to work on the toast. I'm going to put that in my air fryer. And what I did earlier today was I just made a package of our sourdough bread. See, it turned out so pretty, you guys. And I actually remembered to do all the steps. Like, we have some breads that you just mix them and throw them in the oven, bake them off. They're great. But there are a few, our Italian herb, our rosemary focaccia, and the sourdough that are designed to rise, do actually a double rise before you bake them. So you mix it all up, then you let it rise for 2 hours, punch it down, knead it out, put it on your baking stone, then let it rise again for another hour, and then you bake it. So this time, I remembered to set a timer. The last time when these first came out, I mixed it up, I put it in the microwave to let it hang out there, because we have cats, and cats are curious. So I put it in the microwave to keep it safe, and forgot about it. All day I forgot about it. And not a shining moment, I have to say. Just not a shining moment. So we got, that was Sabrina laughing at me. Isn't that sweet? Actually, before I cut this, let me go ahead and put my tomatoes in here. I'm going to turn my heat down just a touch. So my tomatoes I'm going to put on the closing cut. It's got spring-loaded plates in the top and the bottom, which is perfect for slicing up tomatoes, other veggies like grapes if you have little ones. You're not supposed to give them whole grapes apparently. They just the late models just can't handle whole grapes. But so with a nice long knife, at least a 7-inch knife, just come in and slice right through. And all of my grape tomatoes are sliced. We're going to pop these right in here. And let's get the rest of these little grape tomatoes. And they're going to start to blister and get all yummy. There we go. And this is also great for bagels, English muffins, anything that you would need to slice in half. Even like chicken, really thick pork chops, that kind of thing. Because it's spring-loaded, it's going to help you slice right through. And it's dishwasher safe. So if you do cut raw meat on here, you can stick this in the top of your dishwasher to get it really nice and clean. Alright, so our tomatoes are in. And they're gonna start releasing some of their juices. Get us a nice little saucy situation going on here. So supposed to cook this covered. Oops. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit more liquid to the pan because I got a little bit hot there. There we go. All right. So we're gonna give this about 10 minutes covered. If I can find my lid. Oh, wrong one. I thought I had it there. Maybe. That one. Perfect. Okay, that's my cookware drawer there, you guys. All of my stuff in there. All right, so the tomatoes are hanging out. They're going to start to break down a little bit thanks to that heat. Now we're going to make our bread. And using my bread knife, I'm just going to slice this into some slices that we can use for toast. I just take the end off that we can snack on later. But maybe about 1/2 inch slices. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a little rustic. It's all good. Now this recipe is set to serve 6. Okay, so we'll make 6, although I don't think I'm going to need 6, so I think I'll just do 4. There we go. So we've got 4 pretty nice sized pieces here. Now, if I was going to do this as an appetizer, slice this right in half, I think that there's going to be plenty in this to at least do 12 if you wanted to do an appetizer, depending on the size of the bread. If you were to get like a French loaf from the supermarket, those are probably about that big. So you might be able to get maybe 15 out of that, depending on how much of the toppings you want to heap on there. So in my air fryer, I'm going to just lay these slices right here on the rack, and we're going to toast these for maybe like 5 or 6 minutes. And I'll put this rest of this guy over here, and we'll use some, just spritz it with a little bit of oil, or you could even use butter if you were so inclined. Just a really quick spritz just to give it a nice toast. There we go. And it'll be just fine there. I would say probably no more than 6 minutes or so on the air fry setting. Ought to do it just fine. So if you have the air fryer, put it in the comments. Let me know what you use it for in your kitchen. I absolutely love this thing. It is used probably at least once a day in the house. And it's an appliance that I am comfortable letting my kids use. I've taught them how to use it safely. So those square, or not really square, they're little rectangle Totino's pizzas fit right on one of the racks, and they have mastered the exact time to put it in to make the pizza exactly how they want it. Sam likes hers a little less cooked, so Cece I think does around 10 minutes. But Sophia likes hers a little extra, so she goes like 11 or 12. But they figured it out, and it's great because when they're hungry, they can just go and make themselves a little pizza, and I don't have to be involved. It's great. But also for making toast, for cooking chicken in here. The rotisserie function in here is one of my favorites because it makes the chicken so juicy. The outside, the skin, it just renders down, and it's just amazing. There's a skewer attachment you can put in here, so you can do skewers on a rotisserie as well, which I've done a couple of times. I've made kebabs a couple of times. but it really shines making hot dogs on the rotisserie. If you've ever been to like the 7-Eleven with the hot dogs on the little spinny thing, it's really cool. And they're super tasty, super tasty. Again, that's another video that I have. I'm sure, I believe I've done that one once or twice before. Alrighty, so I'm gonna turn the heat back up on my tomatoes. It was getting a little bit too hot too fast earlier, but now I think we are looking good. So I am going to throw in, actually before I do that, well, a can of white beans. I'm using the cannellini beans. They were drained and rinsed earlier, so I put those on there and add in the rest of my broth here, which is a ½ cup of vegetable stock. If you don't have vegetable stock, you could use chicken stock. It wouldn't hurt anything. But if you wanted to make it like a completely vegetarian dish, go with the chicken. I'm sorry, go with the vegetable, not the chicken, the vegetable. And I'm going to use my herbe de Provence seasoning, the last of what I have. All right, so this recipe is in our TasteBuds collection, and the herbe de Provence is actually an exclusive seasoning in that box this month because it was actually discontinued. So it is now only available in the TasteBuds subscription box, and I'll show you guys that a little bit later. All right, I'm gonna add some salt, a little bit of pepper. Get that seasoned up really good. Turn that heat. There we go. All right. And the last ingredient we're going to put in is our spinach, okay? So the spinach adds, it's one of those dark leafy greens, adds iron, I believe it has calcium as well. Really, really great addition to this particular dish. If you don't like spinach, kale is also a good alternative, or you could just, leave it out altogether, although I do think it does need a little bit of something green. So maybe if you're not using spinach, use a little bit of basil. Do not use a cup of basil, but just a little bit of basil just to add that green color in there. All right, so I'm gonna cut this down some because it's gonna go on top of toast. So I don't want big leaves, but I do want that in there. So with masala choppers, I'm gonna come in and give this a few slices just to kind of process it down a little bit. I think that's good. And I believe I got baby spinach for this, but if you are have a garden going and you've got some spinach in your garden, by all means, use that. That would be great. Some fresh spinach. Okay. So now that the beans are in, I'm going to crank the heat up just a wee bit. No, don't need my lid anymore. And I'm going to add that spinach in there and get that in. And we're just going to wilt that down. It really doesn't need to be cooked, but and get that mixed in there so it just sort of melts right in. And I love the colors. It's nice and bright. We've got green, we got the red in here, and you guys see how pretty that is. All right, let's see how our toast did in just a second. There we go. We'll let that simmer away, and it won't take long either. All right, there we go. That's pretty good. Oh yeah, can kind of hear. It's nice and toasty. Nice and toasty. I'm gonna let that just hang out in there for right now. To let it just cool off a little bit. And I'll get rid of this. And we'll grab a nice serving dish. It's a perfect job for my stoneware. This set is our entertaining set. Now it is stoneware, so you can bake on it, but it is a beautiful platter as well, and I think it kind of pops the colors that you put on it. So we've got just a few minutes while our veggies here finish cooking. We'll give them another minute or two. And what we are doing at this phase now is kind of cooking out the tomatoes, kind of pulling all the liquid out of there. The salt will help to do that as well. And we're just kind of concentrating all of these flavors down and evaporating that liquid because we don't want soggy toast. Okay, so we're evaporating that liquid, cooking all this down, getting those tomatoes to just kind of release all of their liquid. So probably another minute or two. So let's talk about TasteBuds. TasteBuds is a monthly subscription. Now you can just try it out for 1 month, get 1 box, see how you like it. If you like it, you keep going, or you can cancel the subscription. There's also a 3-month option and a 6-month option if you want to give this a try. Now, what is TasteBuds? TasteBuds is a opportunity for you to try different seasonings and recipes. So if you're adventurous, if you have ever felt like you're in a mealtime rut and want to change it up a little bit, to do something different, to try something new, this is definitely the kind of product that I think will keep your kitchen hopping and popping with a little bit of excitement, because you're going to, every month, get 3 new seasonings to try and 3 full color recipe cards with 1 full recipe on one side. On the other side, it gives you some recipe suggestions. Now, in the month of April, we got a little something extra. In the month of April, we actually got a 4th seasoning, which they do every now and then, just, you know, to have a little bit of fun with it, okay? So, let's see. We have our basil pesto mix in this one, and you see here we've got the recipe card. On the back is a recipe. There is a South Carolina style barbecue seasoning. Say that 3 times fast. This one is like a mustard base barbecue sauce, and it is amazing in homemade mac and cheese. Just give it that little extra something. Oh my gosh, so good, so good. It's like I guess a souped up, if you ever used a dry mustard, that's South Carolina, next level. There's the herb de Provence that we use today, and a new one. This is called the Tropical Whip. It's got coconut and pineapple flavor. It sounds like a pina colada to me, if ever I heard one. So, yeah, we're just, yep, that sounds like what that's going to be. But there's a tropical whip that you can, the recipe on here is to turn this into whipped cream. A tropical whipped cream that you could use with other fruits and stuff. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. So, yeah. So all of these come right to your door, and you get typically 3 a month, but April was a bonus month. And if you want to get your hands on the April box, you have until the 15th, I believe, until the 15th to order it. After the 15th, you're going to get the May subscription box. But if you want April, you have to get that by the 15th. All right. So let me bring this up, and you can see now that our pan is nice and dry here. So our liquid has cooked out. Our flavors are nice and concentrated now. I'll turn that heat off and let that cool. Now, if you wanted to make this ahead of time, you can do this up to this point here and cool it, stick it in the fridge. It would actually be a great option because I feel like those flavors would just continue to marry and concentrate, and it would be amazing the next day. You just heat it up and put it on your toast. I would do the toast on the day of. That's not something I would make ahead of time, but you could do the base ahead of time. Also, if you don't have herb de Provence, you can't find that in your supermarket, Italian seasoning is a very close cousin in the flavor profile to the herb de Provence. I think Italian versus French, they're still very, very close, close cousins. So I think that would work out really well too. All right. With the spinach, the white beans in here, you could go with a bunch of different like cheese options. I'm going to use a goat cheese as a base for this. So we'll put like a smear of goat cheese on here. And put our topping on the top. And if you didn't want to use goat cheese, you could use like a yogurt, something creamy. It needs a creamy element to it. And I think goat cheese definitely fits the bill. Again, it just kind of plays really well with like the spinach and those Mediterranean style flavors that we already have going on in there. The tomato. Feta would be a good choice too. I don't know why I'm pointing my scissors at you, but feta would be a good choice too. All right, let's grab our little spreader here. But I do like the tanginess of goat cheese, personally. Goat cheese, yep. It's not weird. You eat cow's cheese, why not goat cheese? You've never had a goat cheese? Yeah. You have, you just didn't know it. That's the best way to try food, when you just don't even know it. Alright. There we go. I'll just put that right on top. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? Now, even though this is a vegetarian dish, it is packed with protein. The cannellini beans bring a lot of that to the party. You also, again, get the iron, calcium from the spinach. So it's a very complete dish, even though it is meatless. So vegetarian dish. If you wanted to also make it gluten-free, you could leave out the toast here. You could probably throw this on a lettuce wrap if you wanted a gluten-free option for it as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed checking this out, seeing this recipe. I think this would be a really good one to kind of keep in your arsenal for days where you just need to cook something out of the pantry and need something to throw together really quick. If you didn't have fresh tomatoes, you could do canned tomatoes, drain them off a little bit so there's not as much liquid. You could even use frozen spinach in this, and then almost the entire dish is made with shelf-stable pantry available ingredients to make this a lot easier to be able to just throw together on a whim. And if you have any like celebrations or something happening this summer, you know, you've got graduation parties, engagement parties, you know, summer barbecues, is really nice and hearty appetizer that you could serve. Again, just to make the little toast smaller, and a little dollop will do you on each of these. So I hope that this one makes it to your repertoire. If you do make this, please, please, please post a picture, tag me, because I would love to see how it comes out in your kitchen. So next week we are going to be back with another recipe. We're actually going to be digging back into our TasteBuds box and playing with that basil pesto and making a basil pesto chicken salad. You are not going to want to miss it. I'll see you back here next week at 6 o'clock. Have a great week.